let you guys know that tonight you are all witness. I'm busting my V card with you guys tonight. That'll come in. You'll understand that reference in a minute. I grew up in a small town in Urbana, Ohio. They manufactured corn nuts there. It's true. Barbecue's the best. So anyway, I envisioned, much like Megan, I was going to be very sophisticated, woman of the world. And what happened was I actually won a scholarship to study abroad in France for 1 year. So I got to go to France. This is my journal that I wrote in France. And I was the girl who did everything first. I was the first to get a driver's license. I was the first to get a job. And I knew damn well I was going to be the first to bust my V card. And it was going to be in France. And it was going to be en français. So get ready, y'all, because it's about the quest for Hymen. His name was Frank. All he had to do was compliment my sunglasses. And the quest of Hymen had begun. February 11, 1990. I don't know his name. I will. Cal Babe. February 13, 1990. I just want to have fun. No rules, no constraints. Just me and the dude for whom my nipples stiffen. Just a side note on that, I actually created something called the KNSS, the Kimber's Nip Stiffening Scale. Frank was a 10. 2 days later in the boys' dorms. So we are in the French Pyrenees, in the dorms, okay. I stood by, listening to the conversation until Frank invited me to take my place next to him on Mikhail's bed. This is where I got lost. They exchanged a few short phrases that resulted in Frank's firm, "Want to make a bet that I don't?" The next thing I was aware of was lips. The tongue was soon to follow. My God, my first kiss! And I panicked. I broke out and bit his tongue. The others gave weird looks to me and remarked that I wasn't a debutante in just skiing. But I left out the best part, the gum. After the tongue incident, he'd taken it by force. He lanced the smoldering butt of a cigarette out and kissed me again. I was better prepared this time, and I had no problems with the tongue. But it got long after a while, and I began to wonder, whatever happened to that stupid piece of gum? The next day. This day has been a very diverse one in the flavors of Frank's kisses. After a great time with the chewing gum, the beer, the salami, the delicate goop of tobacco followed. I had to break down and ask for lessons with the tongue thing later that day. Now, I've seen enough in the way of pornography, but I've never had the occasion to touch the real thing. My God. He's huge. I could just imagine how painful that would be. Especially when I've never been able to get a tampon in. He promised to be gentil. So when he asked if we'd faire l'amour ce soir, I had to answer with a resounding oui. Later that night, I was set on ridding myself once and for all of that horrid maidenhead. kept my jeans on and I got my camera on the nightstand. What? I planned on waiting until everyone was asleep to sneak into the guy's dorm, to take a photo of Franck as he slept and affix a post-it to his head that said, "Je t'aime." But I have problems. I fell the fuck asleep. It's true. At around 2 a.m., I was started awake by the shuffling of footsteps and that telltale hoarse cough of my pauvre malade. He came over to my bed and perched himself next to me. "Couldn't you sleep?" "No," I said. "I was waiting." "For who?" he asked. Yeah, right, as if he didn't know. I flicked the flash on the camera and held it in my hand. "Toi," I said, and displayed the post-it for his inspection. I don't still have the post-it, I wish I did. He kissed me and crawled into the narrow bed with me, shoes and all. I snapped a photo of him, even though I could see nothing. And we began. He'd only had enough time to detach the button on my jeans when the chaperone came in. "Debout!" she ordered, and forced him to leave. It's okay, we're gonna get there. I waited until I thought she'd had enough time to return to bed and rendormir. I crept barefoot through the dorms and approached the guy's room. For about 20 minutes, we sat on the chest of drawers outside, me freezing for I had no coat on. Franck smoking. "Turn off the light," he said. I did. Another round of spit swapping followed. I then got very, very, very bold and straddled him as we continued to kiss with an increasing fury. "On fait l'amour?" he asked. What was I supposed to say? Virginity isn't fun. Oui. I breathed. And he led me into the guy's douches. It was blacker than black inside. Thank God I didn't want him to see my cellulite. He kissed me again, gently and non-tonguily. I leaned up against the wall and let him pull off my jeans. He kissed me and pulled off the undies. I worked on his button fly with no great success. And now I am going to present to you the actual box of condoms. There's 2 left, guys. After the show, just saying. I mean, they've expired, but whatever. I got an IUD, it's cool. So I let him finish and put the condom on himself. Okay. I wasn't scared, really. Just a bit surprised that it was actually going to happen. I was also apprehensive about the size. It seemed huger than a broomstick. I tried to ignore the fear, and we started. Ladies, my worst fear was confirmed. He was far too big. He was gentle. He took pains to go slowly. But that didn't change the fact that it was painful as all hell. Virginity, goodbye! Pain. Waves and waves of the worst pain I'd ever felt in my life. Hymen didn't want to die. Hymen fought back. At long last, he came and shuddered limply to a stop. Still in darkness, I dressed and hobbled outside with him. I could hardly walk from the lingering soreness of the fresh wound where Franck had sheathed his sword. Did I hurt you? He asked, concerned. Yes, greatly, I said. Mais ce n'est pas grave. He held me and kissed me. I never would have done it if I'd known it would be like that for you. How sweet. Antoine came rambling by after a few minutes to offer his just-laid pal a victory smoke. C'était bien pour toi? I asked. He drew me closer and kissed my forehead. Oui, très bien. Excellent. It made me feel a bit more at ease until I discovered I was bleeding. I made the problem known and was gently allowed to bleed. That was the exact moment when I realized I was bleeding. Yeah. And I had to spend the next 45 minutes trying to get the blood out of my jeans. Okay. Yeah, that look of terror, guys. It's real. That's real. So later that morning, just so my shame is more complete, I must mark 2 more aspects of the lover. Wow, cool. I have had one. Purple is his favorite color, and Bruno is his middle name. Franck gave me a chain from around his neck to keep as a souvenir, and he promised to write. Seeing as his family was around, his last goodbye was bisous bisous. We dropped him off at Poitiers, and I'll never see him again. Now I want you guys to get ready, because I'm going to read for you the poem that I wrote about this experience. The title is Cherry Snow. A tiny tear. Three drops fall on the snow. Virgin essence spilled on the earth below. A tiny act, the first she'd ever know. Painful penetration. Rhythmically searing and slow. A tiny gasp. Shudders from head to toe. Innocence murdered. Hymen was soon to follow. A tiny love, never destined to grow. Early experimentation on a blanket of cherry snow. And now, the denouement. February 18th, 1990. Already my week is beginning to seem like a dream. Maman found the traces of blood in my panties and threw them away, stripping me of even that little souvenir. And you're lucky, guys, because I would have brought those. I'm serious. She's certain that I'll get pregnant. I'm only certain of one thing. If I do have Franc's child, I'm naming it Ski. Thank you.